Welcome back to another episode of Misplaced Garage. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be finished because there's a lot of things that are currently wrong with the car. I'm gonna start a list here on the whiteboard over here. If I can get the pen out. Number 1, 4 weeks. That's number 1. That's pretty obvious. That is a safety feature that needs to be taken care of. That's on the top of the list. Number 2, mount e-brake handle. And just like making sure the regular brakes are working correctly, I need to mount the e-brake handle just in case the brakes do decide to fail. Number 3, rebuild motor mounts. Plural. So the reason I have put rebuild the motor mounts on there is because when I welded them up, I was let's just say a very amateur builder at the time. Cars taught me a lot about welding and fabrication, but anyways, I don't like the motor mounts anymore. I think they're kind of scary and I would rather not have the engine obviously fall out of the car. So I'm going to build some and then have somebody else weld them because I only have a 110 welder and I don't think I trust it enough for that much force. Number 4, this one's kind of a fun one, is new wheels, tires, and studs. So I actually really like the wheels and tires, or not specifically the tires, but the wheels on the car. But the previous owner, or a previous owner, I don't know who exactly would have done it, but they drilled out the wheels to fit on the car. And it's kind of a safety hazard. I don't know exactly how to describe it to you on camera, but usually a wheel has a tapered fitting on it. Once you screw the lug down on it, it tapers and centers the wheel. The wheels on the car were actually just drilled through the taper, so there's no centering, so the wheel just kind of is not centered on the hubs, so it makes it vibrate and all sorts of weird stuff, and it's extremely unsafe. So we're going to get rid of the wheels, do new studs, do bigger studs. Bolt check, basically just go through the whole car and make sure all the bolts are tight, because this car vibrates a lot, so I have a feeling I'm going to be replacing a lot of nuts with nylock nuts, which is not a big deal. It's just another one of those things I didn't think about previously. So when I was buying bolts for the car, I should have bought nylock nuts in pretty much all of the places that I replace bolts. But once again, not a big deal. I can deal with that. Dash/gauges. That's on the list. I need to finish a dash and do the gauges. Number 7, rear suspension check. What I mean by suspension check is, so I'm gonna try to show you guys here is, so if I look down this, the wheel is like flush with the fender, if you guys can see that. The tire, the wheel, the everything, flush with the fender. And there's also a good gap. There's 5 fingers worth of gap on this side. If I come over here, the wheel, or the whole tire and stuff, is like an inch in from the fender. I don't know if that's because of me messing with the rear suspension, or if the body is like not the same from side to side, which I think is a huge possibility because it's a Triumph, it's a British car, they're not very well made. And then another thing is I need to make a trans tunnel for the car. Obviously I don't want to be looking at the ground when I'm driving, so there's that, plus exhaust fumes and things. So I'm gonna start on the e-brake. So the reason the e-brake mount is not on the metal anymore is because when I was hammering the metal upwards from the bottom to fit the drive shaft, that mount wouldn't allow the metal to come up, so I cut one side off, hoping that I might be able to twist it and turn it off to one way, and then just have the e-brake tucked down right next to the shifter there. So I'm gonna see if I can bend that back and maybe just weld it back in place. just like that. It's back on and welded. Is it pretty? No, but it'll work. Plus it's welded the whole seam rather than the old is just welded in 4 spots. So I think this should be stronger anyway. I don't know if it was a bolt or if it was something else, like a dowel pin or something, but bolt works for now. I do need to get a nylock on the end of it, which is not a big deal. But the thing I found out is, so I have this cranked down really far, which is not good for angles and actuation. So it only activates the actual brakes when it's up in the topmost position. So I think there is a setting back here that I need to adjust so that it pulls these parts of the brake earlier on. Here, this is what I was talking about earlier. See how this lug nut is tapered? It's supposed to go into a taper on the other side, but somebody just drilled it the same size all the way through. I'm not real sure why. They destroyed some semi-nice wheels. These are like appliance racing wheels. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to loosen this guy up and put it probably somewhere about the middle of the throw of the threads. This system is very prehistoric, and so there's a cable that runs to somewhere right about here in the car, and then it's got a little like loop deal on the end, and then that loop deal has a cable running through it that connects to both sides of the brakes here. So I'm gonna set that to the middle and then reset these guys down here. Alrighty, well I got the e-brake mostly done. Everything's all tightened up again. I actually have resistance on the e-brake now. It's not just kind of floppy around. Once it's down though, I can obviously spin the back wheel. Once it's up, I don't know if that's all the way up, but now it doesn't move. So that's what an e-brake should do. The only other thing I need to consider is bending it just a little bit more this way so that when I do a transmission tunnel, this will have just a little room sticking out, so it's easier to get the tunnel in there. So besides this list here, this is the majority of what needs to be done, but there's still a couple of small things, like license plate light is missing on the other side. There's some wiring up front that I just need to dial in. So this stuff for the headlights is not sheathed, and I kind of need to do that. I think if this is an offcut, it may just be long enough. I'll be honest, looking back at this now, why did I do wires on both sides for each side of the headlight? Maybe it made it simpler at the time, but that just creates more wires in a pinch zone. Guess I'll do the same thing to that side as well. Alrighty, I think that looks a little bit more tidy up there. It's also gonna work a little bit better. Let me show you. So when I close it, it actually kind of bends the wires outwards rather than makes them all loosey-goosey. So that's gonna make it harder for the hood to close on them, and I think that's the way to go with it. I get quite a few comments on here asking, does this engine actually fit in the car? Fit is kind of a word to use, I suppose, but you can see the paint is literally rubbing off from sitting on the engine. So next up is an interior question, which I'm actually going to ask you guys. Please leave a comment down below what your opinion is on this. I have my opinion on it, and I want to hear what you guys think. So the interior is obviously kind of this tan with black stripes in it, and then the top of the car is also black, similar to this material. So as you can see, the dash is kind of this plywood here. That was 100% temporary. It wasn't intended to be like that for a long time. What color of wood do you think I should do? I'm gonna build the dash completely from scratch since I do a lot of woodworking anyways. I may as well build a beautiful dash for this car. I'm also gonna be doing a sheet metal transmission tunnel. I've kind of come up with an idea for that. I just gotta buy the materials for both the sheet metal and the wood dash. I have a couple of examples over on the wall over there, but what color of wood do you think would go good in here? So here will be a closer, accurate representation of when there's finish on the wood. So the walnut's gonna be extremely dark. It's So as we can see here, obviously you're looking through a camera. So this is actually a piece of maple that I added in there just because I had it lying around. And this is the cherry, which I still think I'm leaning towards that. And that's the alder, which looks alright. It's not my favorite color. I think it's too light for this. And I don't know. I'm on the fence about walnut because it's like, it's a good dark, might be a good off tone. And there's obviously lots of other colors of wood out there. I'm not going to do anything crazy like purple heart or tiger wood or anything like that. I'm going to do more of a traditional wood dash, but I think I'm leaning towards cherry. Please let me know your opinions on this, because I would also like to know what you guys are thinking. Keeps you guys involved, keeps me involved, and yeah, I like a good conversation. So please shout a comment down on what your opinion is. And for reference, transmission tunnel is likely to be, so it's going to be sheet metal color, and then I'm probably going to paint it or probably wrap it in some kind of like leathery vinyl material that's going to be, it's likely going to be black, but I don't know. It's also a convertible, so I kind of want to do a tan color so then I don't put my arm on it and burn myself. I think that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider dropping a like and a comment, and maybe even subscribing if you like this kind of footage. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one.